There is no right or wrong way to do the aquarium hobby. Hello everyone, welcome back to AB-Aquariums. This video is going to be a little bit controversial again. Just wanted to go into some of the reasons for why I believe there's no right or wrong way to do the aquarium hobby. There's about 1 million ways to do it, maybe more, maybe 1 billion. Yeah, I just wanted to say that there's no real set way you have to do this hobby. You know, you can't, like if someone says to you, you must do this, you must have this tank set up to keep this fish, you mustn't keep them together, you mustn't do this, you mustn't do that. I think that's just going to deter a lot of people, especially beginners to the hobby. I don't think that's the way to be with people. I think the way to be with people is to say, oh, what do you want to keep? Would you like to keep them? And then maybe try and educate them about maybe the best way that fish would thrive in nature. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, we're keeping all these fish in a glass box. We're never going to be able to give them 1 billion gallons of water like, you know, part of a river has. So we're doing the best we can in the space we have. So we have to be realistic. But you know, maybe we just listen to them more about what they want to do or what they're currently doing, and rather than just beating them down and saying, you can't do that, you know, that's wrong. You know, you shouldn't keep fish like that. You're going to kill them. Rather than being like that, you could just say, maybe that's not the best environment for them to be in. Maybe if you tried, you know, a slightly different decor, maybe if you just didn't scrub the gravel down, maybe if you just sort of left it alone, you know, rather than, because they might still believe that you've got to take the fish and all the contents of the tank out to then clean it, to then put it all back again. You'd be surprised the amount of people that have said to me, oh, isn't that a lot of work to keep fish? You know, the amount of time I spent back in the day scrubbing the gravel down and the amount of effort it took to keep that fish alive. And I was like, thinking in the back of my mind, you know, you're basically destroying everything that you want to promote in that aquarium, rather than thinking you're keeping it sterile. It's not the way to do it, as we all really know, you know. That's just, but then rather than me saying, no, you shouldn't keep fish like that, you must have been a wally doing that, you know, or an idiot, you know. No, I never belittled them in any sort of way like that. I just said, my way of keeping fish is slightly different. I like to create a bit of an ecosystem. And a lot of people sort of, they and ah, and they listen, they said, oh, that's interesting, you know, I keep a lot of live plants, you know, I don't do millions and millions of water changes. I try and keep my hands out the tank when I can. Obviously, when you have to do something and step in, you do. But rather than going hell for leather every time and like throwing 1 million chemicals at something, or, you know, thinking you have an illness and just panic, do what you can and to mend it, rather than doing that every time you see something wrong with the tank, maybe just stand back and think, right, okay, what's the best way to do this? Rather than panicking, because you'll probably find the less you do to resolve it, better chance you'll have of keeping that fish going or keeping those fish alive. Yeah, those are my thoughts on that side of it, you know, about how you would keep fish in general. But then a lot of people are sort of afraid to get into this hobby because they think it's a lot of work. But then I think there doesn't need to be that much work to get into this hobby or to keep fish, you know, because when I've been in fish shops before, but one of my local fish shops is part of a chain, but it is quite a close-knit chain. It's I hear people in the background looking at fish, and you know, they want to take their kids around because the kids have gone, oh, I want to have a look at the fish, mum, you know, I'm in the garden centre, let's have a look at the fish. And the parents gone around behind them and said, oh, we don't want fish, whenever we've had them we've killed them, or we can't keep them alive. And it's like, maybe if we spent a little bit of time educating those people when they come to look around, or is there anything you know, maybe a member of staff said, you know, is there anything you'd like, or they might share a little snippet of what that I overheard. They might share a little bit like, oh, we really struggle to keep those fish going, we really struggle to keep them living long term. They might say that in a polite way, and we needn't be jumping on them and saying, oh, you did it wrong, you know, you shouldn't do that, you mustn't do that. They'll probably be deterred from keeping fish again. They'll probably be, oh, that's too much work for me, I'd rather not keep fish. You know, you can just imagine that, can't you? But maybe we should educate them and say, you know, why don't you start off with like a little 30-litre tank, you know, just a little, even a second-hand one, just, you know, a small tank with a small sponge filter in it and a little air pump for like £20, maybe £10 you can get some of these small air pumps for, and a small little sponge filter, and just say, you know, just get it all set up and leave it alone. You know, maybe chuck a few shrimp in there just to start the cycle, start getting the tank, getting that film growing on the glass, getting the tank growing some bacteria, you know, just generally, you know, rather than before chucking a load of fish in there to do it, maybe put some snails and some shrimp in to start. Because if you're new to this hobby, you're not going to be going and getting a load of Oscars and Severums and arowanas and an 8-foot tank, you know, you're not going to be jumping into it like that. You're going to be getting a small tank, aren't you? And rather than getting a small tank and putting one goldfish in it and thinking, oh, it's just too much work, it's producing too much waste, I can't hack it. You know, you could do a small tank and then keep some fish, sorry, keep some shrimps and snails at first, you know, just while the tank's bedding in, you know, while the ecosystem is building inside that glass box, that closed, you know, that closed system you've got there. That's something that people might think, oh, that's actually quite a nice way to do. I never thought of that, you know. I thought I had to take all the gravel out and scrub it down and put it all back in again. No, you needn't do that. You know, make life easier for ourselves, not harder. So maybe we can attract more people to the hobby by having that sort of attitude. So yeah, those are my thoughts on this subject, and if anyone else has any other thoughts and opinions on this subject, because there's about 1 million different opinions, as you can imagine. Yeah, any of your thoughts, leave us a comment in the description below. Sorry, not description, leave us a comment below. I'd be really interested to hear your thoughts and your opinions as well. So yeah, tell me what you think of what I'm doing, and whether I'm doing it right or wrong, or whether we can do this 1 million different ways and try and promote the hobby that way. So yeah, I'll look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care.